Hi, I'm Bożena Pająk, the VP of Learning and Curriculum at Duolingo. Picture language learning, grammar explanations, conjugation tables, long word lists to memorize. Let me share a secret. None of this is key when learning a language. The key is to let your brain learn the way it learns best, by interacting with the world and finding patterns. Our brain is optimized to learn this way, and we do it without even realizing it. That's why on Duolingo, you learn by doing. Instead of listening to long explanations or memorizing grammar rules and word lists, you immediately do something with the language. You go through lessons and use the words and grammar you're learning. The fun, game-like exercises keep your brain focused so that you find patterns and internalize them over time. And when it's time to use what you've learned in real life, you're able to put together sentences without having to think about the rules. The most beautiful thing about it? Your brain does it all completely automatically. Let me show you. Imagine I speak a language that you really want to learn. It's not difficult because this language is very similar to English, but there are some words that are different. I help you by talking to you in this language. Look, this is a dax. And here are 3 more. What do you think dax means? I bet you immediately guessed it. It's a dog. But let's look at a different scenario. Imagine that instead of these examples of a dax, I showed you these. In this scenario, I'm sure you're thinking that dax means a specific dog breed, a Dalmatian. Take a moment to appreciate what your brain just did. In each scenario, you developed an immediate intuition about what dax means. And you didn't just guess based on the first picture. You combined information across multiple examples, and in each case, you arrived at a different answer. And you did it all completely automatically. This is exactly how we all learned our first language as children. We didn't memorize conjugation tables or other grammar rules. We learned by listening, observing, and letting our brain find patterns. And the best proof of this are the mistakes that young children make. You might have heard kids say, I eat a cookie instead of I ate, or I go to a park instead of I went. Kids say this because they've learned the pattern. In English, the past tense usually has the ed ending. I wanted, I liked, I played. Kids figure out this pattern and apply it across the board until they learn the exceptions like ate or went. As adults, we can learn languages the same way. Just think back to how you learned the word dax. That's why we've developed the Duolingo Method, which enhances this natural ability we all have to learn as we interact with the world. On Duolingo, you learn by doing. It feels like a game, but you are actually learning. But while the experience feels simple and intuitive, crafting it is anything but. Let me take you behind the scenes to give you a little taste of what goes into creating lessons that follow the Duolingo method. It all starts with something very complex, the curriculum. We take each concept we want to cover in the course and split it into small chunks that can fit into our bite-sized lessons. As you complete many lessons, all those tiny chunks accumulate, and you end up learning a bigger concept. Let's look at an example. In Spanish, there's this important concept called gender and number agreement. And here's a very technical description. Spanish nouns have a gender, either masculine or feminine. Adjectives need to match the gender and number of the nouns they describe. Sounds complex, right? And here's what it looks like on Duolingo. We start with the most basic pattern and choose examples that illustrate it clearly. John es americano. Ana es americana. Juan es mexicano. Maria es mexicana. I bet you're already spotting the pattern. Americano, americana. Mexicano, mexicana. Instead of giving you a lengthy explanation, we simply let you learn by doing. You go through the lesson and enjoy the experience. But in the background, your brain is doing a lot of learning. The Duolingo method works because learning by doing is how you learn best. You interact with the world and find patterns. And whether you're learning languages, math, music, or reading, it's all about internalizing patterns and connecting the dots. That's why on Duolingo, you learn by doing. Thank you.